us have insight into what made the news. The Central Bank of Nigeria has approved the release of the Nigerian Foreign Exchange Code as a guideline to the banking industry to promote ethical conduct of authorized dealers in the Nigerian Forex market. Yes, Pri, you know that for quite a long time there's been talk about some sharp practices within the banking system, even in the parallel market when it comes to Forex trading. There's been talk of round tripping and all of that, hoarding of foreign exchange. Some of these factors have contributed significantly to the depreciation of the naira to the dollar, and how difficult it has been for people to have access to Forex within the official setting, the banking system, and so a lot of persons are resorting now to the parallel market where they can always have Forex as much as they need. But the CBN coming up with guidelines that is to guide or to provide the rules that will set the ground for trading, Forex trading, what the participants, the authorized dealers are expected to do, how they're expected to conduct themselves. Would this make a difference? There've always been guidelines before, except that sometimes the guidelines have been reviewed.
Okay, one question I would like to ask is that access to the dollar. I'd been to the bank several times to want to, you have an, you open a domiciliary account, either in the dollar or in the pound or some other currencies. When you open, you're opening with that money physically, or you do a transfer to open that account. But you come back, you want to withdraw. I don't know if that's changed now. You cannot be given. And they're telling you they don't have. It's not in stock. What are they doing? They are promoting the parallel market. The guideline, the Central
CBN.
Bank of Nigeria, does that code, does it protect those who needed that dollar? Because recently we heard that banks have started selling PTA and BTAs to people who are traveling for business and students who are traveling to school who are buying the dollar recently. So what about those who needed dollar for other transactions?
Are they approved? Are they approved by the CBN?
Yes. So the thing is, you go out in strategic areas in Allen Avenue, in Ikeja, and some other parts of you see people in front of banks selling the dollar. If you are going into the banks, they'll be calling your attention if you needed the dollar or the pound. I'm just asking this question. It could be a question that maybe does not need an answer. Are they buying the dollar? Are they getting the dollar from the banks to resell to people outside? Is that why the banks are not having dollars in there? Or is there a secret arrangement between these people and the bank to promote the activities of the parallel market, to dollarize the Nigerian economy? It doesn't even stop there. When we talk about dollarizing the Nigerian economy, we also know of private organizations in Nigeria that charges in dollars. While there is a law that the legal tender for transactions in Nigeria is the naira. When we do that, we continue to deplete the performance of the naira in the market, in the Forex exchange, and we begin to give primacy to the dollar, and that in itself contributes negatively to the Nigerian economy. I think the CBN new code should check all these excesses.
Well, I am not particularly optimistic. The issues with Nigeria is not more about writing codes or laws that are violated or obeyed in breaches. The whole issue is that all of us speaking to ourselves, and first and foremost having faith in our own country. And I think that's the starting point. Taiwo Oyedele, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Tax Reform, alluded to this explicitly some 2 days ago, and he was quite clear on it, that the problem in Nigeria, which of course, again, according to him, leads to the misinterpretation of the Apex Bank itself in terms of the raising of MPR every successive time, was the fact that we have not done due diligence to actually understand the psyche of the man on the street. and how the activities of individuals, whether public servants or private individuals in the country, had led us to where we are collectively today as a people. And what was he speaking to? Was the speculation which goes on in our environment, that people wake up in the morning and tell you that Naira is going to fall further, and the only way to preserve your money is to put it in foreign currency. So whether you like it or not, it has become a trade. Some people became billionaires overnight, all because they have connect to the CBN. What were they doing? CBN give them some dollars. Like you said, they go outside of the bank, Malam buy it from their hands, and then they make a kind of an arbitrage, making so much money. And then the Mala take it to the outside, and then other people come to the outside, buy from the Mala makes some money.
Take it back to the bank.
Now, so you see this happening in the environment. About 6-7 years ago, somebody came to me and said, look, the new trade that's happening now is taking dollars in. So as long as you are going to get dollar in, and how this dollar come in is not government's problem, we will remain in this. And I think what CBN need to do is what is done in the United Arab Emirates, where, for example, all bureau de change are registered and they are linked to CBN. It doesn't matter where you are buying, any bureau you are buying from. If you take your card and enter into a bureau de change that you want to change dollar, there's a limit to which you can change in a month or buy in a month. So government can see it. So even when you get into the bureau change, they will tell you your limit has been exhausted. So you can't buy more than that.
You know, the CBN played a role when they asked that bureau de change operators source Forex by themselves, when they stopped allocation of Forex to bureau de change. Now, even when they resumed allocation of Forex to bureau de change operators, it was not all of them that they were allocating to. They were allocating to about 1,000 of them. You know, they had done a streamline of the number of bureau de change operators that were authorized in the country and brought them to around 2,000. So when they stopped allocation and bureau de change operators began to source Forex by themselves, nobody could actually tell where they get Forex from. An incident happened recently in Benin City, and a lady returned from Europe, an European country, and she came in with hard currency. So an accident happened. It was a fire accident, and the money was burnt in that accident. And she was lamenting because she also had some injuries, that the money she had brought in, she was supposed to go give it to those at the bureau de change for the operations. Like they had some dealing where they have some people who are returning home bring Forex for them. So you have trade like that going on. Where the money is coming from, where the Forex is coming from, nobody can tell. It can be from legal business. It can be from illegal business. By asking the bureau de change operators source Forex by themselves, even when resumption of Forex is being done, it is not sufficient, and not all bureau de change operators get it. So that way, it's as if you are opening the door for money laundering, because a lot of people can begin to launder money through that, and you can't even track it, you can't even trace it. Why can't people just go into the banking hall? Why can't Nigerians who need Forex for the approved reasons that CBN has given, PTA, business imports, and some other reasons, get Forex? Because of the issue of round tripping. It's almost like it's becoming impossible to nip that in the bud because of the gains that those who involved in it get. There's so much complicity from the banking sector. Even when you want to lodge Forex in the bank and you come in with Naira, you do not have the Forex value. Right there in the bank, they will call those from the parallel market to bring the Forex. And you're wondering, like, how do they have, and then the banks do not have? But the CBN allocates directly to the deposit money banks what happens to the Forex. They barely ever admit that they have Forex. Where does the Forex that the CBN allocates to them goes to? So coming up with guidelines without stringent monitoring of what happens in the financial system, what happens in the operations of deposit money banks, would not really do any much good. sometime last year, CBN was talking about automating the processes, the operations of the Bureau d'Echange Operators. And then we spoke with the president of the Association of Bureau d'Echange Operators of Nigeria. He had concerns regarding how that was going to happen, who's going to provide for them the systems that they were going to use. But the question was, this is a private business. Does the CBN have to provide you the systems for you to do that? All the CBN can do is to provide some form of training so that you can follow up with the automated process. So I think guidelines without automating it so that the system tracks what comes in, what goes out, would not really do much or bring about much change.
See, we keep saying this thing until we get to that point where we can know what everybody does and we knew who is doing what, where people are getting and sourcing. Some of all these things will not stop. And I think that if people want to enter into a business, there must be a minimum standard to operate in that industry. And if the regulatory authorities have set up a guideline, then it's also their responsibility to manage it. But like you said, the problem is far beyond what the commercial banks can handle, because most of the FS are not coming through the bank. A lot of them even go to neighboring countries to buy these things and bring it to the country, because it's a huge market. It's a very huge market. Because the big men in Nigeria today, according to Yedele, don't spend naira. They spend dollars. And until we have a law that determines how much of a dollar a man can have as in his hand, because he gave a figure.
Who enforces that law? It is one thing to have the law, it's another thing to enforce the law.
The regulator should, from time to time, ensure that it is only those who are duly licensed sell and buy dollars. And every sale and purchase are documented real time, not in papers, but on the system that will be subjected to forensic audit at intervals. So that whatever activity that is happening right there with CCTV footages, it will be a requirement that if you have to do dollar business, your office must have CCTV. You must have systems where you register this thing and where all transactions you do daily are recorded. So that CBN visit your office and they can have access, maybe randomly, on the footages of what happened in a natural day in your environment. So we're able to track and at least put some measure of sanity within that system. Because that's the only way.
But is the CBN aware that if you go to sites of some businesses and you want to check out the rates for their products or services, it's in dollars. It is now left for you to do the conversion. Why has the CBN not even attended to that part? Now, some businesses may say, oh, we just put it for universality. Why? Okay, put it in Naira. Let those who are, if you have international clients, let them make the conversion in whatever currency that they want to, that they have, because the payment is also going to be done in Naira. Why should I go to the site of a business organization and I want to pay for their services? I'm saying, oh, for this is $70. And the business is in Nigeria here. For that is $80, $100. Why hasn't the CBN attended to that? Because the demand for the dollars is increasing, and that's why the business too is booming.
Okay, I think before, I alluded to that when I was responding to the first question. Now, the proliferation or the increase and promotion of the use or the dollarization of the Nigerian system, the stakeholders and the regulators themselves are not absolved or exempted from it. The 2015, the 2023 general elections, when we were talking about how they are going to conduct their primary votes within political parties, we knew of politicians who were buying the votes of the representatives at the primary level in their political party that were going to vote. And some of them there were more than 2,000 in some of these political parties. And I remember speaking to one of the forerunners of the political parties there, as much as $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 was exchanging hand just to buy the vote of one of the representatives. And the highest bidder takes it. in a political party. If you remember vividly very well, after then the dollar price soared and ran up that way. That contributed to the system. Apart from that, I know Nigeria about 8 years ago, we used to be very, very active in participating. This digital currencies, there's a general name it is called, when we were participating in buying and selling digital currencies online. This general name is called, it ran just...
Crypto?
Exactly. And Nigerians were bad by the regulator, by the central government, by the CBN for Nigerians to go into that market. Why? Because they cannot regulate the market and they see the way money is exchanging hands, and they were sure, they know that they are losing, including the big men there who does not want that crypto to continue. And the government barred it. I know of a lot of young people. That was the reason why they left the country. They leave because they are making money from that, and the government barred it. People were trading and were selling, they were trading, buying dollars and selling dollars, sometimes above or beyond what is being sold in the parallel market or the CBN threshold. So they were making lots of money. Person to person, they call it P2P and all of that. So the CBN does not have regulatory power over that, so it fought hard and, completely remove it from the system. Why did they remove it? Because that in itself is one we can refer to as an informal market that is bringing money into the country because of the transfer of dollars. And also, most of these Nigerian musicians will travel abroad to the UK or to the United States of America, and you could hear in the news that XYZ artist, shut down the O2 Arena and closed. They are not paid in Naira. They are paid in foreign currencies, in dollars or in a pound sterling. They themselves, do you bring this money back into the country? Because we've heard rumor of these persons also trading in different markets, whereby they don't just bring the money into the normal, regular market where the eyes of the government can see, but they trade with others in the country, most especially those Bureau de Exchange who operate in a way that the CBN can't really monitor. So all these are contributing to the promotion and the use of the dollar. It has its downside and also its upside.
Well, let's hope that with these guidelines, the CBN will do more, but it takes more than just provide a set of rules for people. It takes the willpower, it takes monitoring and automation of the system. Without automation, then I don't think...
yeah, but let's wait and see what the guidelines looks like on Tuesday by the special grace of God, when it is formally launched, and see how it's going to also help the system really better. But I think once Nigeria can deal with its FS problem, all these things that other things we talk about will just be by the side. Inflation will go down, prices will crash, and we know that the economy become really stronger and better for it.
Okay, and we need to see sanctions being imposed on erring dealers, erring banks, so that the system can be sanitized.
Erring private individuals.
Yes, that's why I said
real
dealers.
Big men, not
and
the,
even
the big fishes.
Those who are involved,
Doctor,
nobody should be spared. Nobody should be spared.
Fishes.
Nobody should be spared.
Who are spending dollar the way Priya is describing them. They should be brought to book. And the Nigerian police must become very, very active in this regard. I saw the Inspector General of Police talking about enforcing the third-party insurance. And I think they should go all out also to enforce that Nigerian economy is not dollarized, that people are not spraying dollars in this environment and they are spared for it.